Hey, it's Matt Webley here. Hope you're doing all right. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a 10K per month software as a service business using AI and AI agents. So before we get started, you might be asking yourself, who is Matt Webley? Who am I? Well, I've got 23 years experience selling online. I started in my early 20s, very early 20s, and now I'm 45. So I've been selling online for a very, 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 very long time. I've got 100K per month SaaS business. I've been building and selling SaaS for about the last 8 years. And I've sold over $23 million online in total, even though I've been like a passive retired degenerate for a long period of time during that period. So it should be a lot more. Shameful, I know, but that's me. So let's talk about niche and idea. So these are the steps. You've got to choose a niche and choose an idea. Then you've got to build an MVP, a minimum viable product with AI. Then you've got to put into place a 6-figure sales process to make 10K a month. And then you need to do your launch and marketing. And if you get all that stuff right, which I'm going to go through in this video and show you exactly how to do this, all being well, you'll have a 10K, 20K, even 50K a month business, software as a service business using AI and AI agents. So let's go through each one thing. So I'm assuming you don't have an idea. If you do have an idea, that's great. If you don't, then let's talk about your niche and idea. So some things you need to think about. So when you're creating your software, what will it do? Will it help them? Will your software help your target market save time? Maybe it helps them save money. Maybe it makes some task easier. Maybe it removes the monotony from a task, so something they have to do again and again and again. Maybe there's less admin, so it takes care of some admin. And again, some of these can be linked, so less admin could mean they don't have to pay somebody to do it, so they're saving money. But less admin could mean they don't have to do it themselves, so they're saving time. So a lot of these are interlinked. Does it help them make money? Is it a tool that a B2B tool that helps them get closer to making money? There's a lot of online businesses that need software tools to work. Could you create something like that? Is there something you can automate? So these are the kind of things that we're looking to create or we're looking to solve. Okay, so pain is more powerful than pleasure. So something that's nice to have is not as good as something that actually there's some real pain that your software as a service solves. So if you can, find the most painful thing that you can solve and solve that. Also, don't be tempted to try and do too much. You want to solve one problem really well. I'm using my mouse here, so that if it's a bit car crash bad with all the highlighters, maybe I'll not even highlight. It might be better that way. Solve one problem really well rather than trying to be everything to everyone. It doesn't really work. Okay. Now, when you're thinking of ideas, you can think of your interests, right? So interests, experience, passion, skills, that kind of thing. Okay. So if you go into a niche that you're passionate about or that you understand deeply because you've got loads of experience in it, or you're just super interested in it, you'll have little insights into that space that you wouldn't have if you weren't. Okay, and so it might make your software that little bit better, cater for your target market that little bit better. And if not, failing all that, you can just steal ideas. So what you do is you go to niche communities, YouTube comments, Reddit, wherever, and you find some niche software with 3 to 5 main competitors and proven usage. So how do you do that? So for example, you go find a Facebook group in a little niche B2B market, so some weird little online money making business, say crypto or whatever. You go into a space, niche it down. You don't want to be in the broadest level of niche. You want to kind of niche it down, like a micro niche, if you like. Find a micro niche with maybe 3, 4, 5 main players already in the space. And I know you might say, well, if there's already people selling it, yeah, that's okay. That validates the demand, okay? It means that if there's 3, 4, 5 development teams all making money and working on one problem, then there's space for a fourth or a fifth or a sixth, being you, okay? So you want to look for proven usage. So when people in that community are talking about what tools they use, do you get the same names coming up again and again and again? If you do, chances are there's people using software in that space, okay? So find somewhere that's got a few competitors already, and then what we're going to do is we're going to clone the core feature set, so you identify the same features that are within those softwares. So let's say there's three main competitors in that space, right? In this micro niche you found, and they all do the same 5 things, okay? Maybe they do things slightly differently, maybe they've got extra bits and bobs, but there's maybe 5 features that they all do. You can't create some software in that space without having those same 5 features. So what you do is you clone the core feature set, those 5 features that are common amongst all the competitors in that space. You clone the core feature set using AI. You're going to do it a lot more quickly than they did, assuming they did it before pre-AI. It would have took them years, hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're going to do it in weeks or months, and for tens of dollars probably, or maybe hundreds of dollars, okay, in AI, with AI. So then you get a cloned core feature set that they've already got using AI, and then you add a USP or a unique selling point, which makes your software essentially be able to compete with theirs, because you're taking the same features that they've all got, that you know that the market demands, because they've all got the exact same features. So miss one of those out and it will be your downfall. But you clone the core feature set, and then you go, right, what one feature can I add that will make my software better than theirs, or at least make your software different to theirs? So it's not just a Me Too copy. I mean, there's nothing so wrong with Me Too copies, as long as you stay within the bounds of the law. You know, you don't want to be super duper copying everything, but like if there's a shared core feature set across all the different software in that space, then there's no laws that I'm aware of that stops you from essentially taking what those features do and putting them into your own software. Software as a service is a bit of an arms race. Someone's going to do it to you in 6 months, 12 months time. That's the game. The idea is you just try and stay ahead of it. And with AI, if you're using AI and your competitors aren't, you've probably got a massive inherent advantage there from a speed point of view. As they're slowly adding features, you might be able to very quickly add features. But yeah, get a cloned core feature set off proven software that you know is already selling. Add a unique selling point of a feature. So there's a cloned core feature set of 5 features, and then you add a 6th feature that nobody else has got, because you've got a unique idea for something. And as you start building, these ideas will jump out at you. And even if they don't, once you get some users on there, they'll suggest ideas to you, some of which will be good, and you can add them. So you could get 10, 20% better software than your competitors, but you'll build it in a month using AI, whereas they maybe took 2-3 years to build it. And obviously you're going to shortcut your journey to success, because they had to iterate on ideas very slowly and build it up over time, whereas you're just using theirs as kind of like a roadmap as to what to create, because the market has already demanded it and validated it and all that stuff. So hopefully you get the idea. Hopefully by paying attention to those, you'll come up with a really cool idea. There's other hacks you can do, like you can go on websites like Product Hunt to look for inspiration and other little things like that. But hopefully that's enough to give you a niche and an idea. Next thing we're going to move to when building this 10K a month SaaS business with AI is we're going to build the MVP with AI. So what's an MVP? MVP stands for minimum viable product. You're not trying to build something that's going to take you 10 years to build, and you're never going to sell it, you're never going to release it because things get in the way. You're looking to build something within 2 to maybe 4 weeks. Ideal situation is no more than 4 weeks. Now, so you need to set out and go, right, 4 weeks is my cutoff. I'm going to have this MVP done in 4 weeks, and it should be enough to essentially be able to compete with your competition, or at least solve the problem that your target market have and solve it well. Now, you might say, well, I don't know how long it's going to take me. Well, roughly speaking, I would say that using AI and AI agents, it's going to take you 2 to 4 weeks to build what would have took traditional SaaS teams, a small SaaS team, maybe 1 year. So if it's essentially like a 2-3 year project in the real world, pre-AI, it'll be maybe a 1 to 2.5 month project in the AI world. Okay, but the idea is we don't want to bite off something too big that we can't chew it. We want to keep it kind of focused and get to market quickly. Okay, so 30 days is a sweet spot. When you start coding or when you start talking natural language to the AI, you'll quickly realize how much you can put in there and how much you have to leave out. What you'll end up doing when you start using the AI, because it's so much fun building these SaaS apps with AI, is you'll get feature creep. And what you'll do is you'll start off with the planned 5 features plus 1 USP, and before you know it, you'll want to build this, you'll want to build that, you'll want to build another app at the same time, and you need to resist the urges to do all that. Stick to your core plan that you set out when you were figuring out your niche and idea, and tweak it, wiggle a little bit if you need to from there, but don't go too far off piste. Okay, the longer you take building your MVP, usually the longer it's going to take on top of that, because as you add more features and you get that feature creep, you're going to introduce some more bugs and you're going to need to debug it. Now, don't be scared. That's just natural language debugging. It's quite easy, but AI has a tendency to break things as it goes. So you can't just think, oh, well, that's fixed, that's done, move on to the next thing. Sometimes something you do will break something. So you've got to kind of debug as you go. It's just a kind of a workflow, but don't be scared of it. It's actually really fun, like I say. So what tech stack do you use? Well, this is the tech stack me and my clients or students are using right now. It's Abacus AI. This is a large language model kind of wrapper. So the large language models are like ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini. Abacus gives you access to all of them, and you can use it from one interface with one subscription. So it's really good to test out different models. You can test out image generation models, video generation models, text to speech, speech to text, large language models, and they're all in there in one tool. If you want any of these, by the way, I've got links down below to them, and if there's any discount codes or anything, I'll make sure that they're included in the link. But Abacus AI is really cool general LLM / main tool. I personally like to keep ChatGPT as well, so I was considering adding that on here. If I did add it and then I deleted it, because you don't need it, you can actually just use your Abacus AI. But if you've got ChatGPT, then adding Abacus AI to it is a good move. Then Replit as the main AI agent. This is the thing that is going to create a lot of your code, and what a lot of my clients are doing right now is they're plugging Claude code into Replit. I'm not sure how long this will last, if it lasts forever, but essentially Replit has usage fees. So the more you use it, the more it costs. Now, it's literally 1,000 times less than if you were using humans. So I think you just suck it up and accept it as a cost of doing business. But some of my students don't like the idea of paying for an agent. So right now, Claude Code's working. You can plug it in via a shell prompt, and you can use that within Replit, and it slashes your cost by about, I don't know, at least 10 times. So it's 10 times cheaper to use Claude Code within Replit. But Replit is like a really good all-in-one tool that will help you build your software. It'll help you debug your software. It's got inbuilt databases, inbuilt security scanners. It self-deploys, so it does all the server setup. So essentially, you can be a no-code AI founder, just use Replit, and that's all you need. It's good to bounce off an LLM, so it's good to have Abacus as well, or ChatGPT or Claude or whatever. But essentially, Replit is an all-in-one tool, and I really think it's a great tool. Claude Code, like I say, is a way to reduce the price by 10x, literally. It's probably more, I don't know. But then there's another way. Again, I don't want to overcomplicate the video, because you could just use this and ChatGPT. You could just use Replit, or just Replit and Abacus, and that would be great. That's all you need to do. So if you want a 10x less right now, whilst it's still working, you can put Claude Code into Replit. But if you want a 10x less than that, there's a new DeepSeek code come out as well, which is a Chinese LLM that's just created a Claude Code competitor that uses DeepSeek, and that's like 10 times less than Claude Code. So there's lots of different ways to get to the same position, but you need to choose a tech stack and stick with it. Minimum, Abacus AI and Replit would be a really good tech stack for you. If you want to get more complicated, you can start introducing other things. But honestly, for most people, Replit and Abacus would be perfect, okay? Right, so what do you do next? You have to create something called a product requirements document. This is a PRD. You use a LLM to do this. So you could use Claude, you could use ChatGPT, you could use Abacus to create your PRD. So you literally say to the LLM, so you go to ChatGPT, which is my preference for a general PRD. I think it creates the best ones. Unless you want to get super specific, then Claude will do a better job. But you go to ChatGPT and you say to it, I am creating some SaaS that does this for these people. So that's in this niche, that solves this problem for these people. I want you to create me a PRD for Replit that helps me build the software. Boom. Basically, it's just something as simple as that. Put that into your ChatGPT or Claude or wherever. It will create you a PRD. You copy and paste the PRD straight into Replit, and it will start building software in front of your eyes. It's amazing, and it's a lot better than if you just go to Replit itself and just type in what you want. Create the PRD, it will give you better results. Now the reality is you'll get 80% of the way there in 20% of the time. And then you're going to spend 20% of the time, hang on, I forgot that, I always get this wrong whenever I try and say it. 80% of the way there in 20% of the time, and then the last 20% of the progress you need to do takes you 80% of the time, if that makes sense. So, accept that this PRD is going to do magic, and then after that, you're going to spend you're going to get so far forwards within a couple of hours, and then it's the time you spend after that, which is probably going to be in the order of weeks, which is crazy because it would have took you years, but order of weeks to get the last 20% and make something that's actually an MVP that's saleable. Now, some people will tell you that you can't create saleable products with AI and AI agents. They're just plain incorrect, okay? They're just incorrect. You can hook Stripe up through to Replit just natively, really easy. It does the authorization, so the login screens, it does everything. So there's no reason why you can't create a saleable product using AI and these AI agents. So what you're going to do in that last 20% of the time is you're going to iterate and bug fix. So you're going to just talk normal language to the agent. In Replit, you can literally talk, there's something called agent and there's something called assistant. You can literally just talk to the agent in natural English and just say, I would like you to add me an extra menu item that's called this, or I don't want a left justified navigation bar. I want it to be at the top, and it literally changes it in real time in front of your face, and you can just iterate, and as you go, you do the bug fixes. Now, something you need to do while you're building as well, and this will do this automatically if you're using Replit agent, but regular checkpoints. This is where you essentially are saving. It's like a save game. If you're playing a computer game, it's like a save game. If you die, you can just load that back the last save game, okay? So as you're making changes, the AI agent won't always do what you expected it to do. This could be down to your prompt not being quite accurate. It could be down to the AI just getting a little bit confused with something you're saying. It could be just one of those things, but the agent will create regular checkpoints so that at any point you can roll back to that checkpoint, and it's like a save game, if you like, right? So you want to create regular checkpoints. If what you're using doesn't create regular checkpoints, for example, if you're using Claude Code plugged into Replit, it's not going to create you regular checkpoints. you're going to have to do this manually, okay? But you want regular checkpoints. Do not skip this step. And then there's something called an MD file or a markdown file. This is essentially kind of, for a non-technical description of it, it's like a help guide for your software and the agent to know what your software does. So it's kind of like documentation for your software, if you like. You want to make sure that you create your MD file. And then you just want to make sure that all this iteration and these bug fixes you're aiming at 30 days maximum. You don't want the pain of doing this for years before you even launch it. If you're trying to build a business, then you need to set yourself kind of like a limit and just go, look, within 30 days, I'm going to get this thing done, right? So if you think it's going to take you 6 months, then you need to not roll back. You need to reduce your kind of like desired features. Just you're creating an MVP, a minimum viable product, something that's good enough people will purchase, okay? That solves one problem for your niche target market. So that's the building covered, right? Next, we're going to talk about the 6-figure sales process, okay? So you've essentially chosen your niche, you've chosen your problem, you've chosen your feature set. At this point, you'll have cloned the feature set of your competition, or you'll have created your feature set, whatever, and you'll have an MVP. You've got something saleable. You're still going to be playing around with bug fixes, changing bits and bobs, having new little ideas. That's okay. It's going to be an ongoing process. That's all right. But at some point, you go, right, this is it, done. I've got a saleable product. I'm going to create a sales process for that product, okay? So when you are creating your sales process, you need to think about usually a 7, 14, or 30-day free trial. I wouldn't do 1-day free trials. I wouldn't do 3-day free trials. Minimum 7 days, but I much prefer 14 or 30 days. You'll see studies and you'll see research done and people's opinions on what's best. Generally speaking, for me, I think 30 days is best, 14 second best, 7 is third best. So I would just go out of the box with a 30-day free trial. You could do a 14-day free trial if you want. There's arguments, pros and cons to all of the above, and the official stance from me should be, look, test it and see. But typically speaking, 14 or 30-day free trial is going to do you well. But there is going to be circumstances where maybe you need to create a freemium version, okay? So this might be a forever free version. So you don't have a 30-day free trial, you have a freemium version. So you offer a certain set of your features for free and possibly free forever, or potentially free for X amount of users or something like that. And then the idea is they unlock a premium version. So they get a free version up front that maybe is crippled in some certain ways. So maybe they can get great use out of it for free. And then you've got that virality of people recommending it. For example, Strong app. It's a mobile app for gym goers. And there's a free version in there, and I use the free version for ages. And then I just wanted to do one tiny little thing that was on the paid plan, and I decided to upgrade to the paid plan, even though I never had to, because it was so useful and so good on the free version, which means people talk about it and you get the word of mouth, and then there's like a upsell within it saying, look, if you want, so in Strong's case, you can create something like 3 templated workouts for free. I wanted a 4th one. So you have to pay, which is fair enough. And at that point, I got so much goodwill for the software because I loved it, the free version. I didn't mind paying for it. I'll pay for it next year as well. And the year after, happy. So that's a freemium version. Now remember, don't be scared about selling, right? Because you're not selling, you're not knocking on people's doors and trying to get them to buy some UPVC windows or something like that. You're giving away free cookies at the side of the road. Imagine you're in a mall and you've got beautiful, glorious cookies for sale, and they've just come out of the oven, they're all chocolatey and gooey and they're beautiful. If you're giving away free samples of your cookies, you're going to get more people that try them and go, wow, I've got to have a cookie, I love it. And then they buy a cookie, right? It's the same with this. You're giving away free trials, so it's not a tough sell. You're not asking somebody to part with 10 grand. You're not asking somebody to even part with $100. You're saying, try this for free. If you like it, there's a paid version. So it's actually an easy sell. So you're giving stuff away for free. So remember that. Like, it's not that difficult. Now, when it comes to pricing, and a lot of people get kind of stuck on pricing. Obviously, you can look at your competitors' pricing, maybe charge a little bit less, and all that stuff, whatever, charge a little bit more, whatever. But typically, you're going to have pricing tiers. So you can service kind of premium clients at the same time as you can service kind of entry-level clients, because you'll have different pricing tiers. Now, these pricing tiers might unlock features. So let's say you'd got a bronze, silver, gold tier, just for want of a different words. So on your bronze one, you might get X amount of searchers, say, or X amount of users of this feature. And on your silver one, you might get like 50% more usages of that feature than on the bronze one, and then and so on and so forth. So you're going to have pricing tiers. Now, one of the strategies you can do is you can have a really low price as your entry tier, but cripple it somewhat so it's almost like it's cheap. So when people are talking about how much it costs, they'll usually say that cost. So if that one was $10 a month, but it's a bit crap, but you're the one that we want people to buy is, say, $30 a month, and it's really full featured. And then what you might do is you might create like an enterprise or your platinum version or whatever tier that's kind of got loads more stuff, but it's loads more expensive, with the goal to sell them to your middle tier. So you get the benefit of them being able to think, oh, this is $10 a month software, but when they actually get there, the $30 a month one is the one that they really want, because the $99 a month one is too far a jump. And maybe proportionately wise, features wise, usage wise, you don't get that much more on that premium tier. So essentially, you're trying to get the $30 price point to sell the best, if that makes sense. So you use anchor pricing for that. If that makes no sense, don't worry. It just pick 3 prices: bronze, silver, gold, or don't call them that. You can call them basic or beginner or whatever. Then pro, something like that. And the idea being the plan you want them to buy, you kind of nudge them that way. So hopefully that makes sense. But I won't make this full video. I don't want to make a massive video about pricing. I can talk about this in another video. If you're interested in more pricing techniques, then let me know and I'll talk pricing. I'll make a video specifically on pricing. So then a penetration strategy, that's one of the most powerful strategies you'll ever find, especially if you go in the cloned core feature set of your competitors. If you're looking to penetrate a market, then this is magic, right? You build the same features that other people have got, and then plus a USP. I'll put that on the end there, but you've got the core feature set plus a USP. So your product does what theirs does as well as theirs does with the same features, but you've also got a unique selling point, some feature that's unique to your software that they don't have. And then you do double the length trial. So let's say they've got 14-day trials, 7-day trials. You do a 30-day trial and you charge half the price. Now, I'm not saying you leave the price there forever, but let's say all your competitors, for example, your competitors have got the same core feature set you've got, but they don't have your USP. So tick in that box, 2 ticks in that box for you. And then their trials are all on average 14 days, but yours is 30 days. Tick in that box, and their average cost is $99 a month. You could charge $49 a month. So you're half the price, you've got double the length trial, you've got the same core feature set they've got, which removes the reason to purchase them over you. And then you've got the USP, which makes your product better than their product. And that's a very difficult strategy for them to compete with. Reason being, for example, you might think, well, won't they just lower the price? No, they can't. Let's say they've been at this for 10 years and they've got 1,000 customers or 10,000 customers, whatever. If they go, oh no, there's a new competitor that's charging half what we're charging and giving away more, we need to drop our price 50%. Well, if they do that for new customers only, they're going to annoy their old customers. And if they do it for their old customers, they're going to have a 50% drop in revenue. So it's literally between a rock and a hard place, right? This works, okay? This works. I've had it done to me. It's a nightmare to compete with. There are strategies you can use to compete with it, but it's a nightmare, right? It's an awful nightmare. And it's a very, very, very smart strategy, okay? So yeah, onto your sales page. So your sales page is your 24/7 sales machine, if you like. It never sleeps. It never gets tired. It's your web page. It's your landing page that they land on when they're considering using your software. So they land on your page. 80% of the results that you're going to get are from the headline. So you want to test the headline. So the headline is the big text that comes up at the top of the page when you land on your page. These are the words that matter more in your business than anything else. So you've got to get this right. Now, there's lots of different strategies to create great headlines, but and I've been a copywriter for over 20 years, and it's probably the single biggest skill set I learned that helped me to make millions of dollars. So I know how important it is. But the beauty of it is now is you can use AI to create amazing headlines. I wouldn't even try and write your own headline unless you've been copywriting for 20 years. Don't bother, right? But you want to create, you want to write a direct, benefit-driven headline. Don't be wishy-washy. Don't be marketing speak. Don't be all like what you read on these big corporate websites. Direct, benefit-driven headline, right? Be slap you in the face obvious with what this is. Tell them exactly what it is, exactly what it does, and how they'll benefit, right? And you always, throughout your copy, throughout, like especially your headline, you want to think to yourself, WIIFM. What's in it for me? But not for you, it's for the person reading it. Your prospective user. What's in it for them, right? If your headline doesn't have a loaded benefit that makes it obvious what's in it for them, then it's not going to be good enough, okay? So create a direct, benefit-driven headline, what's in it for me? Now, throughout your sales copy, again, you're going to use AI for this, but out of the box, they don't always do a great job. But don't talk about us and we talk about you. So a lot of websites you see and softwares you see, they're all about us, we, our, me. Like, that's not what you want to be. All of your copy should be about them, about your prospective target market. So then don't talk about them as a whole. Talk about them like you're talking to one person, one-to-one across a kitchen table. That's how your copy needs to be. So always thinking what's in it for me, as in them, what's in it for them, and you want to address them. So you will get this. You are going to benefit from this, right? Not us, not we. Now, they don't care about you, they care about them, okay? Now, you've got different types of people. You've got some people that are going to only watch your videos, some people that aren't going to read any words much. You've got some people that are going to read every word, but you've got skimmers and scrollers, right? You've got a lot of this skimmers and scrollers thing. Now, these are people that are going to scroll through your sales letter and they're going to get hooked in by certain things. So that the general strategy is, and you don't see many SaaS software owners or founders doing this, but that's because they don't have a copywriting background. Usually the copy is very weak on the websites, but you want to have that direct benefit-driven headline and then subheads throughout the page. Like, so maybe it's not as big writing as the headline at the top. Maybe it's a little bit bigger, but it's still bold. It's still like headline writing, but it's a sub-headline writing. So it's usually smaller, but it's still bold. It still stands out. And you want to tell a story through those sub-headlines so that somebody wouldn't have to read any of your copy. They could almost scroll through, read the headline, and read all the sub-headlines, and they'd get to the bottom and they'd understand what your software did and how it was going to help them. So you tell a story through the headline and the sub-headlines, but then obviously each sub-headline is like a hook that's going to potentially pull them in to read the copy below it or watch a video, watch an animated GIF, whatever. So lots of opportunities to catch them, pull them into that little bit of copy, and then you're going to sprinkle a load of free trials throughout the copy. Because what you're looking to do is you're looking to get their attention with the headline, then they start skimming and scrolling. Maybe they read the sub-headlines, maybe they read some of them, but one of them captures their attention and goes, oh yeah, that's what I need. And then it's hooked them. Then they read the little bit of writing that's under that. Maybe they watch a little video that's attached, whatever. And then all of a sudden, boom, you've got them, free trial button. So you have the free trial buttons throughout, or at least permanently attached to the top on your nav bar as they're scrolling. You click the free trial, boom, you're in. You've got them to try a cookie at the side of the road. They love your cookie. A month from now, you've got a customer. It's 14 days, whatever. The more you tell, the more you tell. So I see a lot of very low word SaaS sales letters, which is fine. There's lots of different ways to skin a cat, if that is that the right term. There's lots of ways to get to the same destination, which is people trying your free trial. But generally speaking, the more you tell, the more you sell. This is salesmanship, right? So don't be scared of using lots of words, but you don't want to fluff your sales letter out for the sake of it. You don't want to pad it out. You want it to be concise, but you want it to, you don't want to leave anything out. So in my one-to-one clients that I train on doing this business model from start to finish, a lot of the time, what they'll do is they'll think that they only need to talk about their unique selling points in their sales letter. No, just because the competitors have your core features, well, your prospective customers don't know that you have those core features. So you've got to mention the core features and your USPs, unique selling points. So the more you tell, the more you sell. Don't make them have to click around or assume that they know. Tell them everything, even if it's mostly videos that you tell them in, and maybe you do go the load word count route, that's cool, whatever. But the more you tell, the more you sell. Don't leave important things out. But you are just trying to sell them a free trial. You're not trying to get them to fall in love with you. So concise, compact, as few words as you can, whilst telling the story in full, and explaining the features in full, with a focus on benefits and remembering WIIFM, what's in it for me. Now the AI is going to do most of this stuff for you, but the AI doesn't know a good sales letter from a bad sales letter. It will write you great copy, but you have to use your either gut intuition or experienced eyes like mine that know what works, what doesn't work, because I've been selling online for over 20 years in 50 plus niches and selling software as a service for almost the last 10. So I know what works, what doesn't work, and I know good copy from bad copy, so I can just look at it and can tell what's going to work. But standard things is, if you don't have somebody like me to look over your copy, at the end of the day, you're just going to have to test it. So also lots of videos and animated GIFs. Like they say, a picture tells 1,000 words. Is that what they say? A picture tells 1,000 words, something like that. Well, an animated GIF or a video tells 10,000 words, because they can very quickly, the idea is to have very short videos. They can very quickly watch the video, watch the animated GIF, understand what it is that the feature does without having to watch long drawn out videos that really explain stuff. So have lots of videos, but make them very, very, very short and sweet, and just very specific screen capture videos that explain the feature and explain it with benefits, so focused on them and how they use it and how they get the most out of it. And then you won't go too far wrong. That should create you a nice little sales process. Obviously there's other bits and bobs to this, like I'm not trying to make a 10-hour video here, so I'm kind of scooting over a lot of it, but hopefully getting the idea. Next thing, and this is where the real money's at, is the launch and the marketing. What we're trying to do, so at this stage, you've had an idea, you've got a niche, an idea, a problem to solve. You've built it using AI, you've built your MVP, you've cloned your core feature set if that's the route you go in, you've got your USP. You've created a sales process that's going to sell free trials, essentially give free trials away for you 24/7. The last step really is to let people know about you, get visibility, and it's these steps really that make the business. It's all of it really, but like this bit that used to be the hardest bit, that building the MVP, that used to be the hard bit because you either needed to be a coder, know a coder and be able to do a deal with a coder, or afford to pay coders for a long period of time without making any money. So this was the bit that stopped people getting into SaaS. It doesn't stop people getting into SaaS anymore. It's knowing how to do all of it that stops people from creating a business, not just creating an app, creating a business. So last part, launch and marketing. What we're looking to do is we're looking to create a snowball. I've seen this happen time and again. I've had a nightclub in the past that I bought with my internet money, and I saw the snowball happen where one little thing we did just brought floods of people down, and it resulted in us being the place to be late night in that town for a long period of time. And it's like, I call it the snowball. You're going to create the same thing in your software as a service business, and there's a few key ways you can do this that we're going to talk about right now. So there are community owners, so Facebook groups, school communities, Discord server owners, things like this. There's people out there with communities of your target market, okay? And then there's also content creators that have got your target market's attention, right? They're watching them. They have influence over them. If they've been creating content for months or years to your specific niche, then these people have got your audience, okay? So you're looking for community owners, content creators, influencers, audience owners, that kind of thing. Where are your target market hanging out? Identify the people that control access to these small group communities or these follow-ins, and if you can get those people on board, then you can absolutely crush it with this business. Now the reality is if you can get 2 big influencers, what's a big influencer? Depends on the platform. If you're talking on TikTok, it's going to be you're going to need a lot bigger numbers than if you're talking on, say, YouTube. So 1,000 views on YouTube is quite good in a niche market, a very micro niche market. 1,000 views a video would be pretty impressive. 1,000 to 5,000 views would be really impressive. Now 1,000 to 5,000 views on TikTok might be a bit meh, right? It might mean they've got no influence. So it's platform specific, but depending on platform, if you can find people with your target market audience or community, and you can get 2 big boys, it's game over. You will crush it. When I say get them, I mean get them on board, do a deal with them. Whether that's paid content, so you just pay them per video they do, or paid content plus an affiliate payment. So affiliate payments is where you share a little bit of the money with the person that sent the customer. So let's say you do a deal with a big TikTok influencer, right? And this has happened to me many times. So you do a deal with a big TikTok influencer and they send you 200 clients, 200 customers, right? What you might do is you might offer them an upfront payment just to create the content to promote you. And then you might also offer them an affiliate commission, and it could be a bumped affiliate commission. So you could offer to pay them more, right? So maybe you pay them 35%, say, plus you pay them $1,000 to make the video or whatever. And you don't have to do it. You don't have to do paid content and paid content affiliate. There's lots of different ways to do this. But if they're big boys, they're going to want paying big money, and they'll be worth big money. If they can send a lot of clients, they can very quickly send you hundreds or even thousands of clients, and it's like magic, right? This creates your snowball. Small influencers are watching the big influencers, okay? So if you get 2 big influencers on, you'll naturally attract lots of smaller influencers, and you create that snowball. So you've got all of their audience that know, like, and trust them, and they're gonna just sign up for your software free trial because it's being recommended by the people that they know, like, and trust, that they've been watching for X amount of time, these big influencers. So by getting them on your team, getting them to promote your software, and we're not talking about selling your software, we're talking about recommending it, rating it, reviewing it, mentioning it, these kind of things. Soft sell, not sell, not sell at all. It's just soft, recommending, rating. These things send free trials en masse, okay? So you get a couple of big boys and you start a snowball. Or you could get 10 smaller ones, right? We're not talking tiny micro ones. You're going to need more than 10 if it's super micro ones. But they don't have to be getting, they could be getting like 300 views on YouTube, 200 views, 300 views, 500 views on YouTube in your niche, very specific niche. We're not talking about generic content. 500 views is nothing in generic content, like entertainment content, kiddie content. That's nothing. I'm talking about your specific niche, your perfect target market. If they get 300, 400, 500 views a video, they're very valuable, but they're smaller influencers, okay? But you get 10 of them, it will create a snowball. Again, no hard and fast rules on the numbers, but I've seen this happen time and time again. 2 big ones, or 10 to maybe 20 smaller ones, depending on the size and niche and all that stuff. You start the snowball. Once the snowball happens, your SaaS will grow on its own. And then, so there's paid content or paid content plus affiliate, or you can just go the affiliates route. If you don't have a big marketing budget, that's okay too. You can set up an affiliate program, and every SaaS owner should have an affiliate program. And you can use some software that costs you nothing to set up called Affame, AFFAIM.com. Affame, so like affiliate, but affame.com. Costs you nothing to set up, and you only pay if you essentially send a sale. But this, you can pay 10 to 30%, sometimes 40%, sometimes 50%. I've even seen softwares paying 60%, which is crazy, but you know, if they're trying to aggressively expand into a market that has strong incumbent competitors, then needs must. But you typically 10, 15, 20, 25, 30% is the typical range for software as a service, because you want to make money. And this is what you pay for people that send you customers through a link that tracks it to them. Okay, so you want an affiliate software set up like a Fame. Paid ads. You want to do at least retargeting paid ads. Okay, so what's retargeting ads? Essentially, you can put something on your website so that anyone that lands on your sales letter ends up in something called a retargeting audience. This retargeting audience, it's getting dark here. This retargeting audience is an invisible audience that's created on the ad platforms that enables you to follow that person around the internet. So let's, for example, say you created a Facebook ads retargeting audience. You'd add a Facebook pixel on a little invisible pixel, a little piece of code onto your sales letter, and then when people land on your sales letter, they end up in your retargeting audience, and then you can advertise to them by specifically targeting that audience on Facebook ads. It's the same for other paid ad platforms as well. This is the lowest hanging fruit with the highest ROI when it comes to paid traffic. Going after cold traffic audiences requires a certain skill set, a certain deep pocket budget, and a willingness to lose money and test and stuff. Whereas retargeting is almost like printing money. Like, it just makes you money. It's the lowest cost paid advertising you'll ever do. You can set up on $1 a day, and people that have seen your SaaS landing page once will see your ad again and again and again. So from a branding effect, they'll start to build up that trust, which means they're more likely to take a free trial in the future. And there always used to be this old old rule in marketing and stuff. They used to say that it would take 7 touch points for somebody to become a customer. So retargeting helps with those touch points. Let's say they've seen your software recommended by an influencer once. That's 1 touch point maybe. Maybe they've seen it recommended a second time, so that might be classed as a second touch point by the same influencer. Then maybe a different influencer mentions it, boom, 3. And then maybe an affiliate mentions it, 4. I mean, at this point, chances are it's slam dunk, they're in anyway. But if they're not in, then at that they've already ended up on your retargeting list, because the moment they first click to your website, which would be another touch point, now they're in a retargeting ads audience on Facebook or Google or whatever, and boom, the ads come up, boom, you've got another touch point, okay, I'll try free trial. So it builds that trust, it builds that brand recognition, and it's very, very, very low cost, pretty easy to set up, and it just follows them around the internet. So that's a retargeting ads campaign, very, very low cost, very effective. Now there's hundreds of other techniques that you could and potentially should use to get people on to your software, and this is where the money's at. You've got your idea, you've built your MVP, you've created a sales process that gives away your software as a service for free, and now it's just about getting people to know about it and getting them to try it, okay? So this is where the money's at. So this is where you're going to spend the majority of your time. It's not on creating new features, it's not on customer support, it's not on tweaking your sales process, although you'll do all of those things over time. Any business owner would. You should always try to optimize. But the more time you spend on marketing and visibility, the more money you're going to make and the more chance you've got of this becoming a 10, 20, 50, 100K a month business. If you want help building any of this, what I've talked about, from start to finish, it's exactly what I help my mentees, my students do in my live coaching, my online live coaching. If you're interested in talking to me about maybe helping you come up with an idea, building your idea using AI, how to do all the tech stuff, creating a sales process that converts, and then getting visibility, there's a video down below. You can watch that quick video, and you can book in a call with me. And if we're a good fit to work together, then maybe you and I'll be jumping on live calls and I'll help you build this one-to-one or in a group setting. So then what's next? You want to, over time, you want to reduce churn. So obviously the beauty of a software as a service business model is each month you potentially get new people try free trials. It adds on to the previous month's customers. So you might have 10 customers in month one. Let's say none of them churn, none of them leave you, okay? Churn's like people leaving. Let's say none of them leave you. Well, then you've got, in month two, you've got all of those 10 customers, but then maybe you add another 10 customers in month two, which means now you've got 20 customers. Now you're not going into month three starting again. You're going into month three with already 20 customers. And then if you add another 10, in month three, you've got 30 customers. And that's the beauty of software as a service. As you add customers, your previous month's customers recur. This is what creates your monthly recurring revenue. And this is why software as a service is super, super duper effective. You don't have to do any selling. You're giving away free trials. And as you give away free trials, some of those people recur into paying customers. And then as long as you keep your churn low, and you keep your churn low by having good software, good customer service and all that stuff, and there's other strategies to keep your churn low, but as long as you keep your churn low, so you keep the percentage of people that leave you each month lower, much lower than the percentage of people that, or your percentage that your software grows, so the amount of people that come and try a free trial, your business should hopefully grow over time. And if you get the snowball, it could almost feel exponential at some point. It starts to go nuts. Now remember also, you're building value for an exit. The beauty of a SaaS business is you can get paid, you can get investors or business owners, whatever, or other companies, other SaaS companies to purchase your software because they want your recurring revenue. So let's say by the end of year one, you've got 1,000 customers paying you $30 a month. That's a $30,000 a month business. You can get regularly get like 60x profits or up to 60 times monthly profits for your software as a service business, because they can be very hands-off, especially these AI businesses. You can get big money for these businesses because people want to buy that monthly recurring cash flow. So remember, you're not just building MRR, like a monthly recurring revenue, which can be a really nice income when you've got such low cost because you're using AI and it basically costs nothing to run. You're also building exit value, so you can come and sell it on a site like Empire Flippers, and routinely you could exit for hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars 12 months, 18 months, 2 years, 3 years from now. So you're building value within the business for exit. And you need to have a mindset of that from the start. So you build it with that in mind so that you exit at the right time for the right amount. And then you can rinse and repeat. At this stage, you could create more software, or you could create an empire if you wanted to. You could just flip, build up MRR and then flip. And that's it. Essentially, that's how to build a 10K per month SaaS business with AI from start to finish. like that. And that's basically, within an hour, I've told you exactly how to do it. Like I say, if you want help doing this, I can help you from start to finish, every click, every word, every step. Hive mind, like you can join me on this journey. I will help you, having done it myself. I can help you do this from start to finish. If you're interested, you can book a call down below. Other than that, if you appreciate this video, please remember to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. If you liked this video and you like videos like this, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll make some more videos. If you've got any specific questions on this, I'll do that also. Also, one last thing. If you watch this far, then say in the comments, the robots are coming to carry the carpet. If you say that in the comments down below, I'll know you're an absolute legend because you watched this entire thing and you've 100% got what it takes to make this work if you've got the attention span. This day and age of when it's a TikTok dopamine filled, zero attention span, if you've watched this far, then you're a legend. You've got it. You've got what it takes to make this work. So yeah, say in the comments down below, the robot's here to carry the carpets. Thanks for watching. I'm Mark Webley. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.